Whenever someone asks me what I do, I try to be synthetic and say, well, I help organizations and companies to be more innovative. And innovative is a kind of a strange term, it's a bit vague. Not everybody understands what I mean. But the point is, over the last 15 years, I got the chance to see events and training and projects about innovations in more than 30 countries around the world. And what it means to do innovation in one place is very different from what it means to do it in another one. So for instance, do innovation in Bali might mean to create a network of makers, engineers, students that are willing to 3D print prosthetics for people that got an amputation. And the most common cause is actually car accidents. The traffic in that place is crazy. So if you cannot afford a prosthetic, you might speak with these people and they are willing to help you measuring your body to understand the proper size, design something for you, 3D print it for you and deliver it for free. That's a great example of what it means to do innovation here. Or in the world, there are many countries where malaria is still one of the leading causes of death. And with a very simple and affordable cradle, you can reduce drastically the number of newborns that dies or get sick because of it. And it's just a matter of designing it properly and speak with the local people and understand what they do need and what they are willing to pay for. But sometimes innovation looks more like what we are used to consider innovations, such as startups capable of 3D printing with composite materials, with carbon fibers and similar materials that are incredibly difficult to work with. But they allowed you to create shapes that are impossible otherwise and make objects that are incredibly robust or with incredible performances like boats. So what I realized over the years is that it's not a matter of what you do. There's not a category of products or services that are innovative by default. It's more how you do things that change being innovative or not being innovative. I got to work with companies that were focusing on very humble products, and they were amazing in staying innovative year over year. And huge research centers that should have been the pinnacle of innovation, and they struggle to stay up to date. In particular, for managers and CEOs of companies, it's difficult to deal with innovation, mainly because there's this match. On one hand, everybody, or almost everybody, considers innovations fundamental, and at the same time, even more people consider it difficult to achieve, and they're not satisfied with what they do. So how can we get the best out of our innovation teams, out of our innovation projects? This is the question I'd like to focus on today, because again, during the last 15 years, what I realized is that there are a set of common ingredients that appears over and over and over, and it doesn't matter if you're working in Bali or in Mexico. The key element seems to be almost always the same. The first one is about the people that are involved in your innovation processes. Everybody needs to feel that they are meaningful, that they have impact, a positive impact on what they do. If you ask someone to do a research, read the results. If you ask someone to prototype something, test the prototype. It might fail, and that's fine, it's part of the game, but you should never ask something to someone and then discard their suggestions. Of course, in some areas it's easier to feel meaningful, in other cases it's a bit harder. But the feedback that people need to receive is always the same. What you did matters. So Adam Smith International is supporting a group of people in Nigeria to learn new skills. And after I trained them on 3D printing and 3D modeling and how to design products. I brought them a 3D printer. They used it with a lot of enthusiasm. This was like the best tool and best present that they ever got. But after a few days of enthusiasm, the first thing they did was to disassemble it. And I was a bit concerned about it. And I asked them, okay, but why are you, breaking up your new toy? Why don't you go on playing with it for a while? And the answer I get was very interesting. They said, if we go on using this, we are going to be the experts, and we are going to be the only expert in the country. This country needs machines more than experts. We need to understand how to make these machines here locally and democratize the technology so more and more people can learn how to use them. To them, the most impactful thing was that, not become better than the others. And I thought that that was great. The second point is about the team. To be creative, we need to be in an environment, and the first environment is the team, that challenges us, that sees things differently from what we normally do. So if you want to put together a successful team, focus on different skills. You might have the best engineers, but 10 engineers in the room, they're just improving what already exists. They might find amazing solutions, but it's difficult for them to see things from different perspectives. And the other aspect is that everybody can contribute with something. We underestimate so often facilitation skills, coordinating things, stay on time, allow everybody to speak, managing the processes. These things are fundamental as much as the technical things itself. So diversity in team is an aspect that we should never, never forget. Inglesina is a leading company in Italy producing products for babies. And they have an internal lab of innovation. They call it the Baby Wellness Lab. Now, this lab could have been the only one in charge of developing new things. Instead, the company decided, why don't you cooperate with external research teams? And they picked up 7 research teams from around the world, some from Italy, some from Spain, some from Miami. And these people speak different languages. You have doctors, designers, engineers, researchers. But it's from this diversity that they get the new ideas. And they also validate the new ideas to create a generation of products that should be the one coming in the future. Third point is about space, or better, the impact that space has on us. It's difficult to be innovative and think differently if you are in the same environment where you do everything else. Because usually in that environment, there are rules that don't make us feel safe. Nobody speaks their mind if they don't feel comfortable about it, if they don't feel they can do it. So, do you want to stop creativity and kill innovation? Judge the first idea that comes out of a brainstorming. That's the best way, hands down. Nobody's going to speak anymore. If you are the boss, speak last, not first, because otherwise everybody's going to follow you. So, creating safety in a team, it's fundamental. People want to feel that they can express what's inside their mind and their heart. A great example, in my opinion, is a Fab Lab. Fab Labs are these labs born in MIT a few years ago, or almost 20 now. But as soon as they got out of the university, they spread in schools, innovation places, companies, areas where you might need to give opportunities to the young generations and so on. Because the key aspect of a Fab Lab is to be a place where technologies are accessible. Everybody can step in with an idea and play with the technologies there to make their idea real. So it's really about, I can do whatever, I can explore. And maybe next to me, there's a person exploring a completely different thing, but we can still speak and share ideas. So many, many companies, in particular in France, I'm not exactly sure why, they decided to integrate this model within their companies. So within the same company, you have a space where maybe an engineer, a senior engineer, is next to the last intern, and they are working on different things, but yet they exchange ideas, and nobody's judging them, so it's really a safe place where to experiment. Last, but definitely not least, the role of leaders within companies and organizations drastically changed. It's not about being the best anymore. You don't have to be the most skilled engineer or the one with the better ideas. You have to be the one with the vision that supports everybody else. If someone has a doubt, if there's things that are not clear, you might step in. But your role should really be like a coach and helping everybody to perform at their best. A great example, in my opinion, are communities. So Precious Plastic is a global community, a group of people that are just trying to tackle the problem we have with plastic, in particular in some areas. So they develop their own machines, they create their own lab, they collect plastic, shred it, and use simple, simple tools to actually create nice objects that might be sold on the market. The founder is not the best engineer in the group, is not the most creative designer, but he's definitely the best one at having a vision and leading and showing the people where to go. Using the momentum that everybody has and this feeling we have against this global problem, and he's not just dreaming big, he's helping us to dream big, and that's his job. It's just supporting again. So one thing about people, one thing about the team, one thing about the place or the space where things happen, and one thing about the leaders. 4 key ingredients that are easy to keep in mind and use it as a checklist. But I think that the most important thing, at least for me when I understood it, was this lesson that I'm happy to share with you. Doing innovation drastically changed in the last few years. A few years ago, a new platform, a new technology might pop up, and that's gonna be disruptive, but it would have taken a few years to disrupt the market. So you have kind of time to adjust, test, see how things goes, find someone that is an expert, hire him or her, and ask this person to train the others and so on. Now it's not like that anymore. Something happened, and in 2 months, a new technology is basically changing the way every department in a company works in every company. How do you react in 2 months? It's really a different approach to things. At that point, it's not about buying or getting the innovations, the new thing. It's about becoming innovators, the only way to stay innovative for a lifetime, right? So Gelfi is producing packaging, and they have a lot of passion for innovations and new ideas and new patents and new technologies. And they created a sort of internal academy. They called it Innovation Academy. They selected 10 out of the younger in the teams, 1 per team, again, diversity. And they gave them a year to learn new things, how to develop products and services, learn new tools, what does it mean to study trends or apply AI again to a piece of packaging. And at the end, they had to show what their ideas were in front of the companies and the leaders of the companies. This worked very well to motivate them and engage them again and make them relevant. It's not about the ideas, it's about creating the mindset. These people are going to be ready for the next innovation, and the innovation after that, and innovation after that. So if we go back to the question that we were framing at the beginning, how can we get the best out of our innovation team? Well, I would say that this is the way. Probably the most important ingredient is already in your team, and they are the people. You just have to figure out what's the best way to make them shine. Thank you.